Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Safira Dehtara Dewi. And I'm Cingdan Abdul Parmita. And we're from group 14. Here are going to recite and talk about the poem If I Must Die by Rifat Alawi. Start the first part of the poem. If I Must Die by Rifat Alawi. If I must die, you must live. To tell my story, to sell my things. To buy a piece of cloth, and some strings. Make it white with a long tail, so that a child somewhere in Gaza, while looking heaven eye to eye, awaiting his dad who left in a blaze, and bid no one farewell, not even to his flesh, not even to himself. Seize the kite, my kite you make, flying up above, and think for a moment. An angel is there, bringing back love. If I must die, let it bring hope. Let it be a tale. Okay, first off, from maybe the first line and so on. If I must die, you must live. So on calling the author that he wants us to live on his legacy, to continue on his tale maybe. And also maybe saying that we should keep on fighting. So he said to us, you must live, as to the reader. And then to tell my story. Well, definitely that's just straightforward. To continue on his story and to sell my things. Could also mean straightforward as just selling his things, like his belongings. Or maybe in other words, saying to continue his work or to share his work. So on. And then to buy a piece of cloth and some strings. From the first part of the poem, when you read it only until that part, you actually get confused. What does this actually mean? There could mean a lot of things that is made from cloth and also strings. But after reading the whole poem, through on out, you eventually found out that it means a kite, or that we would say that this kite represents hope. And make it wide with long tail. If you put this kite up on the sky, and then when you see from down below, when you see it, it kind of makes up a silhouette, as in an angel. As also followed along within the other lines. So that a child somewhere in Gaza, while looking heaven in the eye, awaiting his dad, looking up in the sky. So looking up in the sky while looking heaven in the eye means like looking straight from below into the sky, because usually heaven is represented by the sky. And then to awaiting his dad who left in a blaze, meaning that his dad might actually, in this case, as we all know it, he's no longer with us. Or how so, why so, we don't actually know throughout the whole poem. Mostly it's only intrinsic and just depending on the reader's perspective. But through my perspective, maybe left in a blaze could. So, when awaiting his dad who left in a blaze, we might not actually know why and how, but we all know that his dad is no longer with us or has died. Okay, so I'm going to explain the rest of the poem. bidding no one farewell, not even to his flesh, not even to himself. Meaning that father, his father, the child's father, death is too sudden. He doesn't get to say goodbye, not even to himself. So this um, this word flesh actually refers to the saying blood and flesh. Yeah, meaning that flesh here represents a family, so he doesn't get to say goodbye to his family or to himself. And then the next slide sees the kite, my kite plane, flying up above. So the child sees the kite and crafted by Lewis as a connection to the father or the narrator, representing a link between the past and present. And thanks for a moment, an angel is there, bringing back love. So for a brief moment, the child believes that the kite is an angel, bringing comfort and love, offering hope in times of loss. So, jadi di sini anaknya itu, narratornya itu pengen kite-nya yang sudah dibuat oleh Yu itu untuk mengcomfort seorang anak yang berada di Gaza dan memberikan sebuah harapan. Okay. And then the last line, if I must die, let it bring hope, let it be a tale. So the writer wishes that their death will not be in vain, but instead inspire hope and become a story that can encourage others. Jadi yang the narrator or the writer of this poem wants us, the reader, to be inspired by his death and continue to tell their story and then bringing hope into all of the people, not only the people in the Gaza. Okay. Another aspect is the title, If I Must Die, which also have been written here twice. As what we thought it would be from our perspective, misalnya mungkin siasat dari autornya gitu, hoping whoever stumble upon this poem would read and feel merasa terbawa untuk tetap berjuang. And then the next one is the relation of this poem with the postmodernism poetry era. Okay. So the first one, existential point of view. So this poem is written from the perspective of the residents in Gaza, right in the middle of genocide. Ini dari perspektif kita aja sih sebenarnya. Jadi the author or the narrator of this poem itu pastinya orang yang berasal dari Gaza dan mengalami genosida yang sedang terjadi di Gaza pada saat itu, pada saat dia masih hidup dan ya change. And then also the relation of this poem to the postmodernism era is the free format and chaotic structure. You can see that you may think that some end of the line may have a rhyme, like to sound like things, and some strings. But then again, when you look at it, not all of us and only those two actually make up of a rhyme. So this poem doesn't really have any fixed structure. Even there is this one line that only has one word. Okay, and then the last one is the social and the political critique. So this poem, as you guys can already guess, it's speaking about the oppression and genocide that is happening in
will he come up in the characteristic of postmodernism era? And I think that's all from us. Is there any questions? It's maybe unclear. Yeah. Fidel? Seorang sastra.
My name is Karina Diana Pradwi. I'm from first group. I see the light there, sees the kite, my kite you make, flying up above, and thinks for a moment an angel is there. Is the angel is mean by the kite? Maksudnya apa angelnya itu yang diimajinasikan ke kite-nya? Jadi kayak dia ngelihat kite itu sebagai angelnya gitu kan? Kenapa?
Okay, so we're going to answer the question. So in our perspective, yes, it could be interpreted like that. Karena kite itu kan they make it white and with a long tail, and angel is usually associated with the color white. So you can like from afar, yang saya dari jauh tuh mungkin kelihatannya itu bakal kelihatan kayak angel gitu. Apalagi yang ngeliat anak kecil kan mungkin dia berimajinasi apa terus dalam keadaan yang apa ya hopeless, yang benar-benar mereka berada di suatu daerah yang terkena oppression dan genocide, itu melihat sesuatu yang sekiranya itu bisa menjadi harapan, itu mereka bakal bisa berpegang teguh kepada hal tersebut. Tapi sebenarnya dari kami juga itu, menurut kami kite itu bisa dikaitkan dengan kebebasan, karena layangan itu kan terbang tinggi, bebas di angkasa, jadi bisa dikaitkan dengan kebebasan, perasaan yang ingin keluar dari daerah tersebut, keluar dari Gaza dan ingin hidup secara bebas dan tidak diterkam. Mungkin segitu saja. Apakah bisa dijelaskan?
Jadi ini point of view-nya dari si child-nya, bukan dari
Iya, itu bisa dari child, bisa juga the author-nya intended for us the reader untuk melihat kite ini sebagai angel. Okay?
Then that's enough. Thank you.
So any other question?
No.
Okay. I don't think there's any other questions, so we're going to end it here. Thank you all for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wah.